Hey everybody, it's Carrie McLaughlin, author of this guy right here, How to Get Published and Paid Writing About Your Kids. That is it's the ultimate guide for selling your stories to parenting magazines. And if you can't remember your book's title, maybe it's too long and you should snap it up a little bit. So I feel like I should edit that for the 10th anniversary edition. Give me your ideas if you've got a copy. Or if you just know the subject matter. Okay, so today, what I want to talk to you about, and this could be like a little bedtime story for you. I'm going to read you a little piece out of the book from chapter 4, which is 25 mistakes to avoid. And real fast, yes, I'm in my bathroom recording this video. And no, I don't have like full makeup, glam, all that, whatever. I don't actually. Maybe I have a little mascara on. Who cares? Yeah, that's a beach towel because I'm a mom and I was swimming today. We've got a pool. And let's see. Yeah, showers behind me. I'm sitting on the toilet because I'm a parenting writer. I'm in the trenches, people. I'm still in the trenches. I'm not in babyhood or toddlerhood anymore. Um, those were some fun things to write about, pregnancy and stuff like that. I've been doing this for like 13 years since I only had about 3 kids. So I just wanted to let you know that this is how it is. Sometimes I'm writing in the bathroom. Sometimes I'm writing in a storage room, hidden away from everybody. But you know what? It gets done, right? Whether you have a beautiful office as a writer or not, whether you have regular hours or not, whether your kid goes to school and you have all day to write or not, or if you're like a homeschooling mom with 5 kids running around all day and they get harder and harder the older they get, harder and harder to manage, driving and the dating and the education and just what do you want to do with your life, all those fun things, the jobs. Okay, so let's dive into chapter 4. It's called 25 mistakes to avoid. I am not going to read you all 25. I'm just going to read you a few of the big ones. Okay, so this maybe some funny ones. Okay, so here's a funny thing that I did. Mistake number 4 is don't make international mistakes. Watch out when you're submitting to other countries. So like I've submitted articles to Canada and overseas like England and Australia. Okay, so one time what I did is I did a piece on 4th of July, sent it to England. Not really smart. And I sent something up to Canada like that they don't have, and it's not at the same time as we have it, maybe Thanksgiving or something like that. So think about that before you pop those off everywhere. Just maybe like if you're mass submitting, exclude some of the overseas places. Also, on that point, as far as like, let's talk about things that Carrie has done that you should not do. You have pieces on winter and snow, and that's great because you live in New York or, Montana, Kansas City. But guess what? Guess who does not want your articles? Way down in Florida, they don't want that. They are like, what is snow? Way down like San Diego. San Diego would be like, this chick's a moron. Why did she send this to me? And there's a tub running behind me and I can hear it and I'm starting to freak out that it's going to overflow. Okay, so watch out for, seasonal mistakes as well, okay? Also, don't sit there crying if somebody doesn't snap up your piece immediately. I've had pieces I like to say boughten, like Broughton. It's from a movie. Let me know if you know the movie. Put it in the comments. I have had pieces purchased many, many years after I've written them. And I've been like, how did this person hold on to this song? I gotta make sure that water turns off. Hey, you gonna turn that water off? Wow. That's really scary. So yeah, basically it's a numbers game. Okay, I guess they heard me. Let's see. Um, Local quotes, sometimes that can be painful to get local quotes. If you have a very popular article and everybody wants something local, that would take a lot of your time on an article that might pay $35. And sometimes I just don't know if it's worth your time. So do it if you want. It's up to you to decide to do it or not. The regional parenting magazines, which is what we talk about mostly here, they're not going to give you a final draft of your article and be like, look, I tweaked these words or whatever, and I want to give you final approval. No, they don't have time for that. Well, yeah, they just, they just, they just don't. You're making, maybe $50 tops on these guys, and their reprints. They're basically usually printed as is, unless they're edited for space, in which case they don't usually ask you first. They don't usually say, I took out these 3 points or these 3 paragraphs. I've had like 11 unique benefits of homeschooling turn into, 7. And the piece was still fine. It still made sense. And so let's see. Don't be too shy to ask for assignments. If somebody is, they seem to like your work repeatedly, a magazine seems to like your work repeatedly, ask them, hey, is there something that you have in mind that you want me to write specifically? And instead of my reprint fee of 35, my fee for a brand new piece would be 60, and they get something exactly like they want. And that might include some local sources, but they'll usually provide those for you. And then you have that piece after it's published. I wait until after it's been published, okay, because I wrote it just for them. So I wait until after it's been published, and then I shop it to the other magazines. And sometimes everybody wants it, and sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes you have to tweak it, but you've made your initial money off of that piece, and then you're basically recycling it and making more money off of that same piece. Don't forget to keep records for tax time. That's super important. And then also, as you write more and more, you will be asked after several years, hey, have we ever published this piece before? And so you're going to want to go back into your records and say, oh, shoot, yeah, you did this 2 years ago. And they're going to say sometimes, okay, I pass. And sometimes they're going to say, can we use it again? And we're paying you again. Heck yes, you can get paid twice for the same article in the same magazine in different years. I've done it many times. And then don't forget to put your work on some sort of, put it in some sort of tickler file, some sort of, make a system so that you are not forgetting about pieces every year. When November comes up, really start thinking about your, like your February articles, and like Valentine's Day, of course, your love pieces, and then don't forget about March, your spring break. Start thinking about your Easter and anything coming up in spring, any holidays, St. Patrick's Day if you have one. They're always dying for things like that, topics that are underwritten on, and then topics that are written on so much, and they're looking for a new angle, something new, like birthdays, camp, any of the holidays and things like that, seasonal things. So those are a few of the do's and don'ts of writing for the regional parenting magazines. I'm talking about Kansas City Parent. They like a lot of local content. San Diego Family. I mean, there's hundreds of them in my book. Starting from Alaska Parent, Chicago Parent, Ithaca, Oregon, Orlando. Pretty much any city that you can think of. Pretty much any city has a magazine. So I've got 225 regional parenting magazines in my book. That's a lot to choose from. Some pay, excuse me, some pay more than others. Obviously, some pay for new content. Some do not want you writing new content for them. Then I've got 159 national and online parenting magazines. And then in the front of the book, there are all kinds of tips on the basics, what they're looking for, 12-step process, mistakes to avoid. We talked about that. Money things, about reprint lists and such, invoicing, and then record keeping and systems, tracking your sales per article, per publication, tracking your submissions. You could be a real statistical geek on this, and it's super fun. I love Excel, and I love keeping track of all of my numbers. And then on these magazines change so often. So on my website, thepublishedparent.com, I have a specific post dedicated to changes. And I am still submitting pieces right along with you. Older articles, new articles, I am submitting. And so I will hear back from magazines with updates. Otherwise, I hear about them in my Facebook group, which is also called The Published. Sorry, that's not The Published Parent. Parenting Magazine Writers. So look for Parenting Magazine Writers on Facebook and join us. They're like 500 members, I think, and we talk about all kinds of things related to parenting magazine writing, regional, national, etc. We try to keep it on those topics. And then sometimes writers will have updates. And then I incorporate those into future editions of the book. I put those in a blog post. And then I change things accordingly in my email list. So I hope you enjoyed this post. If you know someone who is a writer, a parent, they like writing parenting magazine articles, or you think they should, they're super funny and they should write something. If you could share this with them, give it a like if it was helpful to you at all. And leave me a comment if you have any questions whatsoever. I love to hear from fellow writers and anyone at all. So thank you for watching my super unprofessional video shot in the bathroom. Real parenting writer here, that's for sure. Get the book and then let's talk about it. Have a fabulous week. Bye.